What's up, guys? I've never had this happen. I've heard people talk about it happening before, but never have I had this happen on my car. Check it out. Let me know. You had it happen? What was the solution? How did you fix it? How did you make it not happen again? Not a problem. I just need to take the tree.
Okay. Yeah, he said pull up and back out. You need to push out. Push out.
Hey, he said to go ahead and drive down there.
I told him your part at the end. He said to go ahead.
Okay. Took my car to Rico on Sunday. Car run pretty good. First pass, got out there, shook the tire a little bit, spun, and then second pass, I went to go crank it up. I had a buy, luckily, and I heard a noise. Check this out. Listen to it on the in-car camera and see what you think it is.
Oh my.
Do you hear the noise still?
Yes.
So you heard that noise, and it was scary. But we ended up making the race anyway, determined that it was not in the engine and that we had a problem. Let me show you what it is. Check it out. Never had this happen. It's very crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Appreciate you guys watching the channel. Appreciate y'all commenting, liking, and sharing these videos. It really makes a difference. We're going to racing again this coming weekend. We're going to be going to Outlaw Syndicate at 710 Dragway is the game plan. Okay, so looking at the noises, when you start looking at the noises, when you start hearing things, it's very easy to jump to conclusions, and sometimes it's easy to miss things. So we already got this thing jacked up, got it on jack stands, got all the Bailey pins off of it. Luckily, this transmission is right here. First thing I thought was, okay, maybe the planetary is bad. We've had that same noise, similar noise, and it was the planetary. I had bearings before. I've killed bearings in the engines, but normally it doesn't sound like that. So it was kind of a rattling sound, and it kind of went away a couple times. When I put it under load, pull it in gear and kind of rev it up a little bit, it would kind of go away. So I was like, I don't understand what it is. We're going to send it, and we sent it. Right about now would be one of those times where it would be nice to have a lift. But I don't have a lift, so we're doing it on the ground. So I got under here, and while we were at the track, we went ahead and checked the port converter bolts the best we could. Did not see anything loose. And, we were going Circle D converter. Shout out Anton. Shout out for, getting us a good Powerglide transmission. And so we started looking. And so while we were cranking this thing over, I noticed the flex plate was kind of moving a little bit. See that up there? What? So flex plate bolts have backed out. I don't know how many are loose, but that one right there is clearly out. It has backed way out. I'm pretty positive I put blue Loctite on those. When I put it together, normally I do. I torque them to like 80 foot-pounds. I mean, they're ARP bolts, but that one clearly is backed out. So that was our noise, and that explains why the noise would go and come. Luckily, those strong bolts, it doesn't look like any of them sheared off, best I could tell. And this flex plate may be okay, but I went ahead and ordered another one. So I got another flex plate coming. That's one of those ATI super plates. It's like a $300 plate. So it's not like a cheap plate, but it may be okay. But I went ahead and ordered one just in case. Also got a stator that we're going to change. Let me show you that. Appreciate Pete sending us a new stator for the Circle D converter. We were planning on changing it anyway. And so, we got to pull the transmission back to do that anyway. So let me show you that. Hang on. If you don't have a Circle D converter, I'm going to suggest you get one. These are the stators. Circle D. I've got a 264 in mine, and he has a 252 as well, but for my engine, that's what we got. And you see the numbers here. They don't do it traditionally. Like the way most stators are, they count the number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be like 11 and whatever the blade angle is. Notice these windows are very big. There's only 11 and not 13. And also, if you notice, they're like, it's like a wing. It's like a foil. See how they're kind of tweaked, and then they are at a specific angle. They could take a normal stator and say this is 1132, and you know that would be what it is. But they do it based on fluid flow. So this is a 184 F179. So the one that we have in mind now is a 191 185. Now, last time we changed stators, we picked up about 8 to 10 mile per hour. And like a tenth, obviously, the faster you go, the harder it is to do that. But Pete, man, I really appreciate it. Pete, Circle D, y'all hit them up if y'all need any torque converter stuff. We have, love this converter. Love it, love it, love it. Pete at Circle D. Wow, dude, this thing, there's 2 more stators tighter than this one. I think this one's going to get us pretty close where we want to be. So I'll show you how to do this too in this video. Basically, it's a spragless stator. So see how it's got a back. You can't really screw up the way you put this one on. It'll have a little bearing that goes here on the back. And then on the front, there'll be a snap ring. You can see the snap ring spot here. So you take the snap ring out, take your billet steel piece out of here. That's what actually goes in the hub of the actual transmission in the front pump. And so this thing does not move. So this redirects flow. And then so it doesn't move, it's spragless. Put the clip back in it, put a bearing on the top, and then you put it all back together pretty easy. When you get a stator, they also send you O-rings. So I got the O-rings, got the stator. So that is pretty cool. I appreciate it, Pete. And so we went ahead and got the transmission down, working on this. Like I said, I've got this handy dandy floor jack that I made a plate so that thing sits on it easy enough. And you can see right here is the problem. That bolt was about to shear. Oh yeah, they're all loose. Let's see, let me get my my wrench on it just to see. I mean, the flex plate may have survived. Like I said, this is a good flex plate, but it may not have. It was rattling like freaking crazy though. Okay, so I was just moving it with my hand. They are all loose, and let's see if I can move it so I can show you. You hear it? And you can see it. So they're all, I haven't put a bolt on it yet. But if those would have been regular bolts, or I haven't put a wrench on it yet, they would have definitely broke. That's why it would be quiet and then tighten again. So this flex plate, the holes are definitely wallowed out. Let's pull it apart real fast. All these are going to be, look at that one, finger tight. Let's see, I can move it. That one's obviously out. They're all loose. Have y'all ever had that happen? Have y'all ever had the flex plate bolts come loose? What's your solution? I was talking to Anton. You know, he said he's had it happen before on customers' cars. Safety wire would be a good one. I don't know if they make any safety wire though. So we're gonna, let's get these out real quick. And then let's get these out and we'll look at the flex plate, and new flex plate will be here tomorrow. But we'll go ahead and get the converter out of it and start changing the stator. Okay, flex plate is off. Crankshaft is fine for the most part. There's a couple spots on there. I'm gonna have to get a file, and it did transfer a little bit of material from the flex plate to the balancer there. It's on top of it. So we're just gonna clean that up with a file. Flex plate, it actually kind of survived for the most part. It's not bad, it's not wallowed out. If it was a lower horsepower deal, I mean, it'd probably be fine. But since it's not, we're probably gonna put the new one on it. You know, I could use, no, I can't use that one on the old car. That one won't work on the old car, it's small block either. So if anybody wants any signed memorabilia, I'm gonna clean it and we're gonna sign it. And then we'll probably give it away at the track or sell it at the track. Try to recoup some money. So now let's pull the torque converter out. Okay, instructions are important. This past weekend at the track, my flex plate bolts come loose. It made a lot of noise, ruined my flex plate, ruined the bolts. This is the ARP bolts that we use. Have you ever read the instructions on flywheel flex plate bolts? Flex plate bolts. Yeah, flex plate. It's not a flywheel. It's a flex plate. Well, did you ever see that? You know, I have never really paid attention to instructions. Instructions are important. So you take this fastener assembly lubricant that they give you and you put under the head of the bolt. So you have no friction here on this. And then you put Loctite on the threads. I've always just put Loctite on the threads. Then you torque it down to 85 foot-pounds. That might be what happened, because if I didn't lubricate this, which I did not, then guaranteed the friction from here, even though it torqued to 85, was not actually 85 foot-pounds. Read your instructions. Okay, so flex plate bolts almost installed. So I did just what the instructions said. I put a little bit of lube on the head, and then I'm using red Loctite instead of blue. But we're going to stick that on there. Finger tighten them, torque them 20, 40, and then I'm going to do 85. That's what the instructions say. The instructions are right here, and I'm following the instructions. Follow the instructions. At the Circle D converter apart, look at the difference in the stator. So this is the stator we're pulling out, and this is the stator we're putting in. So this one is the 191F188, and this other one, this new one, obviously they're the same thickness, but this is a 184-179. When you look at these things side by side, I can't see any difference at all. I see nothing different. All this stuff up here, you know, is good, easy enough. It's got one O-ring on it that goes down in this groove. When you get a new stator, they give you that O-ring. I'm gonna just inspect all the bearings while we got this thing apart. Pete, Circle D, I appreciate it. You are the man. I don't know. I can't see the difference. I cannot see the difference at all in this thing. It's just so crazy that it's different, but it's different. They both got 11 blades, but the angles and the foil shape is different. Wild. All right, back on the ground. Everything seems to be good. Got the transmission pan on it down at the bottom, the skid plate or drip pan, whatever it is, underbelly pan, catch pan under the cart over here. We did change the oil. We use the Lucas racing oil. We use just SAE 50 bite in a 5-gallon container. I've also had a few people ask about the filter that I use. That's the long one. You remember we usually use the short one, but I started using this long one. Just more volume, more filter capacity, I guess. It's just taller. So I like that. Appreciate my buddy Jerry hooking us up and getting us a case of these. Helped one of my buddies the other night mess with his car, Nate. And he had some shock mounts. And he told me, he's like, man, these are fire extinguisher mounts off like Amazon. And so I had it on the little cheap one down there. But the problem is, that's the one that it came with. And the problem is it was constantly, like when I throw the parachute, it would go forward. So this has got a little quick release. So you just pull the quick release and then the whole piece just comes out of there. So if you need a fire extinguisher, you got one. Not required, but you know, I've got a couple of these around. I got one in the race car. Probably could put another one, but you know, they're not super heavy. But so one in the race car, one in the smart car, and then one in the trailer. You know, just in case fire is scary. So something else, Full Spectrum Power. They've been coming out with a new charger, and so they are available now. He's got enough of them. They've been out for a little while, and they are making a few tweaks and changes, but these things are 20 amp instead of the regular 7 amp, 8 amp, 10 amp, the Optimates that they have. So still got this thing the way I did it. Still got the Optimate charger on it over here. So the Optimate charger is a really, really good charger for balancing the cells, and you know, it's just slow. Just put it on there, a little fan comes on, it kicks out the voltage. And this is built specifically to their specs, to Full Spectrum Power's specs. This is the 2K battery here, and man, it works freaking amazing. Love it. So really excited to do that. So if y'all are interested in getting a 20 amp charger, they are available. So this thing is pretty cool. So let's crank it up real fast and see how everything feels. We do need to get transmission fluid in it. We are probably out of the torque converter, probably a quart of fluid, so that's not too bad. So we'll do that, and let's crank it up real fast. All right, guys. Well, everything sounds really good. Wow, that thing is rich in here. So we're good to go. So we are ready to go racing. I'm going to go get the race car trailer real quick. We're going to go ahead and load this thing up. And we're going to be ready to go racing tomorrow. So we're going to be at 710 Dragway, Outlaw Syndicate. So that's going to be really fun, really excited. Notice we are back on the slicks, of course. We changed the bar angles again. Going to try a little bit different bar angle from what we did last time. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Hope y'all have a good day. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks.